Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is Phoenix, and we are going to be going over the ship design of the New Orleans class, or the Lafayette class. So starting off with the New Orleans here, what we have here is very much Galaxy class-esque ship with very few subtle differences. So the saucer section is very similar to Galaxy class, and the neck here, where I guess the Galaxy class would probably be about maybe 4 or 5 decks. The neck of the New Orleans is about 1 deck, maybe 2, give or take. And then you have the hull, or the secondary hull of the ship, which is very much, again, like a Galaxy class. Now, here's the difference is where the pylons are, or the nacelle staunches, if you will. They come out right between the neck and the secondary hull of the ship, and they're a little further back towards where the third impulse engine is in the middle, and they kind of they sweep backwards, and then obviously they come up where the nacelles rest. Now the nacelles that are on the New Orleans class are kind of like the beta versions of the nacelles, because they have an extra little thing on top which has a phaser array on them. Obviously the New Orleans comes with these pods here. I'm not entirely sure what they're for, but if this ship does like a saucer separation, or if the main nacelles are damaged in some way, they have extra propulsion. That's my theory as to why they have those pods, or they could be sensor pods or something of that nature. That's pretty much it. It's a very, very small ship. They've classified it in the game as a Recon type ship, which is more or less an escort type ship. I've had people comment on my previous video on the Recon destroyer that it is a frigate, not a tactical ship or a recon ship or whatever. Just so you know, I do not name these ships. I don't give them their classifications. This is all done by the people who make Star Trek Online. So just there's your warning there. Moving on to the Lafayette class. I probably pronounced that wrong. As we all know, I don't have the best pronunciation of words. I believe the saucer section it's a little bit wider, not by much, but at the back there you got bigger impulse engines, and they are a lot longer and wider. And then the neck comes down in almost like a V section, where the third impulse engine on the neck is further down. The neck of the Lafayette class is like maybe half a deck, if that. I think the neck is a lot bigger than on the New Orleans than it is on the Lafayette class. But the secondary hull is actually a bit longer as well, like just in size. It's got a little bit longer, so there's probably an extra deck there compared to the New Orleans class. The warp nacelle staunches, I think they're at the base of the neck and the secondary hull where they attach to there. They're actually a lot longer from fore to aft, and they kind of sweep a little bit backwards, a little bit of a wave, and then obviously the where they go up is a lot shorter than on the New Orleans class. The New Orleans class, it's a lot higher, whereas the Lafayette is shorter, and there's a phaser array just on the bend as well. So then you have the warp nacelles. I guess they are the new class of warp nacelles when it comes to, say, the Andromeda class or something like that. Very, very boxy. This type, I guess, would be considered a beta. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have the Andromeda class. But it's kind of got the same thing where it's got like this little raised area here and a phaser array attached to it. One thing I did notice here that is not on the New Orleans, or maybe I'm just not seeing it properly, is the Lafayette looks like 2 shuttle bays, maybe 3. I'm looking at the New Orleans here. I think the New Orleans has 3 larger shuttle bays, whereas the Lafayette has 2 medium-sized and 1 small on the bottom, where that little swoop is underneath the hull. And then we have the pods. Again, this kind of almost reaffirms my my extra impulse engine or warp nacelle theory, where if one of these warp nacelles are taken out, then you have extra warp nacelles to assist in getting a quick getaway. That would make sense if it's going to be classified as a recon type ship in game. So the pods are a little bit smaller, but they are a lot longer, whereas the New Orleans are shorter. There's a lot thinner at the very top, where the New Orleans are a lot boxier, and then at the back, the New Orleans don't light up, whereas the Lafayettes do. I don't think there's anything else I can see here that would say anything more about this ship. It's very much a Galaxy class, just shrunk down just to be more compact and maybe a lot faster with these pods if they are for warp capability or impulse, just to get that extra fast edge in. Well, that is it for today's video, and as always, I'd like to hear from you. Do you love or hate this ship design? Would there be anything that you would change if there was a T7 version? Let me know your answers and any questions you have down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you out there.